finals of the NA, the North America Autumn Live Finals. The number 2 seed Nemesis Hydra against the number 4 Liberation X, who will be the champions of North America. And we know that in the first match, Rona won't be involved.
Ooh, very nice ban out of Nemesis Hydra. So, like I said earlier, hopefully they're thinking the same thing, and they leave that Fortress out. That way they do have a chance of securing Fortress as the first pick. But Liberation could probably hear this, and it depends on like what they choose to do, like either secure out a roamer or ban out a jungle carry like in Koshka.
All right, we'll wait, and it won't be a Koshka Hafu.
Yeah, no Koshka. So do you think that Hydra will go for that Fortress that's open now?
I'd like to see Hydra actually do a Fortress and then save the jungle and laner in case they want to try and secure jungle Ringo.
Okay, we'll see what happens. Hydra does have first pick in the first match of this best of 5, and it's an Arden that is going to be on one of those 2 roamers that you were talking about.
Fortress and Glaive for Liberation.
Fortress and Glaive for Liberation, you're sure?
Pretty sure.
100%.
He's been pretty good with
Glaive.
The predictions.
And
Status baked on the Glaive, and it will be Dawn Eclipse on the Fortress. Why did that stand out so much to you?
This is just how they play. They have probably one of the best Glaives, and adding that Fortress in there matches with their play style because they're so aggressive, and Fortress is very good in that early game. Watch them invade Nemesis Hydra a lot, taking advantage of how Coez isn't able to rotate that much. So if T-Tigers is able to hold this lane, I'm pretty sure that Liberation is going to come up with the win in this match.
All right, we'll wait for Nemesis Hydra's next picks. It is a Ringo, which will be very interesting, helps with their early game style. And the Petal!
Oh.
The Petal comes off the board. Oh. I think this is the first Petal we've seen in this tournament. Now she does have the highest win rate of Simply Amazing and above in the last month in Vainglory, and this is a perfect pick, Rome, into an aggressive comp.
Matching up Petal against a Glaive, I'm not too sure how she's going to do. Like, she does really well against Koshka, but against the Glaive, it's like, what she's going to have to do early game is avoid fights level 1 to 3. And with their Glaive always pushing over, he's going to rotate up to lane and get that Ringo a couple of times.
All right, we'll have to see what happens. It is a bold pick, Hafu.
It definitely is. And oh, what a treat. We have the Sky pick again. So
Epic.
the Sky Glaive we saw on the first game in the other set. And yeah, Sky versus Petal now.
Look for Glaive this game to actually go out really tanky, and he's going to be the one setting up all those plays, doing all the peeling. I really like Liberation X's comp, but then again, Nemesis Hydra has a Petal, and we're guaranteed that Hardek plays a brilliant Petal.
What happens with that Petal and Sky with the forward barrage, the Sky combos, and Petal's counterplay? It's an interesting situation.
They both have like small jumps where they're very good at repositioning themselves. It also depends on like how they kite and how they use their whole team as a force instead of just one player individually.
What we certainly saw from Hunters in the VIPL, Queen on that Petal, she was able to use those seeds for the knockback, you know, thinking about that. She was able to use the trampoline to create the distance she needed to stay alive, and then of course that spontaneous combustion ultimate. It's almost like having a fountain of renewal on your team, so that could certainly turn the tide of fights. We'll watch for that. Hafu, the final time we will ask, who is your fearless prediction? Who is going to be the North America champions? I've
been wrong a lot, but my fearless prediction is for Liberation X. I mean, I'm just so impressed by this team. T-Tiger, Status Baked, and Dawn Eclipse. All 3 of these players are so strong, and they seem like both teams got what they wanted.
All right. One of these teams will take the first step toward being the North American champions in this best of 5. For the first match, let's go to Action Jackson and Vedius with the call.
Thank you very much, Playoff Beard. We're back to the caster desk. This is it, Vedius. This is the finals, the last series we're going to have two outstanding teams are going to be facing off against one another, Liberation X and Nemesis Hydra. We've already got some interesting picks coming across the pedal. We haven't seen one yet in this tournament, but like you heard from the analysts, over in VIPL that was picked up and very, very effective. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works out. How are you feeling about this match?
Well, it is a best of 5, so the fact that they're bringing out pedal in game 1 I think is a good decision to make, simply because you can see how things go. You have plenty of room to adapt throughout game to game to game, so I think using it now, we could see some pretty awesome stuff.
Oh, we absolutely could, but let's get onto the fold, guys. Give it up for your finalists, Nemesis Hydra and Liberation X.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be jumping onto the fold. Nemesis Hydra, they're going to be starting off with this pedal in the jungle. Looking forward to seeing how things play out. You have to bear in mind that in terms of the 2 versus 2 matchup, with T-Tigers playing this guy in the jungle, it's going to be pretty strong going up against the pedal, simply because of how quickly she can clear through those minions. So probably going to be looking to avoid those early aggressive plays. I'm excited, though, considering Liberation X are all about that early aggression.
Yeah, and speaking of which, we've got Dawn Eclipse Anti-Tigers here putting some hurt down onto Hardek already. Look at that big forward barrage coming through. There's a bleed on Hardek as well. He needs to get out of here. He is super low. That's first blood of the finals going over to Liberation X. They want more, though. Lost Boytoff. Surrey Strike lands a few hits. Coeds tries to come in, but it's not enough. This could be an ace. Coeds, he is going to find one return kill, but he goes down. Liberation X, an ace. 1 minute and 15 seconds into the first game.
And this is why Liberation X have been known throughout North America as the steam train of aggression. If they can see a fight, they will take it, and you saw it right there. They knew that they had the advantage in the 2 versus 2, especially when you're running a Fortress Sky into a pedal this early on into the game. Doesn't even slightly surprise me that they went for that fight, because it paid off fantastically. You have to give massive credit to Status Baked on the back of that, though, positioning Coez perfectly for the rest of his team to capitalize and get themselves an ace at 1 minute into the game.
Absolutely crazy ace timing coming out from Liberation X. Now let's talk a little bit more about this pedal moving forward, though, because in VIPL, as we mentioned earlier, we saw it, but the way that they actually played that game was very much about giving up a lot early on, and then later on being able to kite out and win fights. This time around, they tried to fight early. They're trying to fight some more, actually. Status Baked miles away from home. He could be in a tough spot here between Hardek, Lost Boy Toff, and of course Coeds. They want to go for this. He's actually 1 versus 1 against Hardek right now, though. If he actually gets away from this, he could get to lane and maybe escape. Great plays coming out. Meanwhile, what's going on over there? Coeds finds a kill. Status Baked, he is going to go down as well. Nemesis Hydra even up the score.
Wow, Nemesis Hydra turned the aggression right back onto Liberation X. They were not expecting that, and this is the thing that you have to take careful consideration of when you're going up against this Ringo. A huge amount of damage available to that hero early on into the game. T-Tigers thought that he could go for the 1, and clearly he was wrong, because he gave over a free kill to Nemesis Hydra. Meanwhile, on the back of that, Status Bait was completely out of position. He was trying to go for the shot. Nemesis Hydra collapsed upon him, and they picked themselves up 2 easy kills, equalizing the kill score.
Very nice plays coming out of both these teams. We're actually seeing a slight gold lead going the way of Nemesis Hydra. Well, it was until they just evened it up. So it's incredibly close, like we were saying before. And this is a great thing for Nemesis, I feel, because definitely in the late game, they have the ability to kite around so effectively.
They certainly do. The thing is, for Liberation X, is they really need to pick their lanes a little better, simply because they can't afford to keep scarring the lane. Coeds, though.
Oh, he face checks that bush. The afterburn comes through. That's a jump forward, but he gets healed a little bit with that Vanguard. Very nice job coming out of Arden Hardek now. The next target, Dawn Eclipse maybe wants to go for this one. Look at the turnaround damage. The Ringo gets a kill. Coeds finds it. T-Tigers manages to get one on the return. Now Status Baked going to be the next target, doing some good damage, but it's not enough. 2 kills for 1. Nemesis Hydra take the trade.
Both these teams are known for their aggression. Liberation X have traditionally been the more aggressive type, with Nemesis Hydra being a little bit smarter, and you can see that smartness really paying off for them in that engagement. Kiting around the fight perfectly, knowing exactly who to focus and when to focus them down is exactly how they made it to the finals in the first place. They realized that Dawn Eclipse is super squishy on this Fortress very early on into the game. He has very few defensive itemizations, meaning meaning that there is little that he can do up against the full lineup of Nemesis Hydra. They tunnel him down, they pick up that kill, and off the back of that, Nemesis Hydra are going to get the first gold mine of the game.
Donaclips looking like he wanted to maybe go in there, stop that one, can't quite pull it off. Look at how much damage Coeds is already doing onto that fortress, hitting like a truck already. This is a big opportunity for Nemesis Hydra with the slight advantage, with the vision from that gold mine to maybe control the early game a bit here. They got to keep getting good scout traps down. T-Tigers, though, actually going for Coeds. Finds a lot of damage. The minions are blocking those attacks.
Oh.
He nearly gets killed on the return, but he's just going to be able to back on out of there. Lost Poitov might want to jump in with blood for blood. I don't think he quite has vision, though, and that is going to be a successful recall coming in from T-Tigers. Crazy fights early in this game, Vidius.
That was a very close exchange between T-Tigers and Coeds. If it wasn't for Status Bait coming in right at the end there, it could have turned out pretty poorly for T-Tigers, but they were able to pick up another kill. Once again, equalizing the kill score. These two teams are just after a bloodbath in this game.
All right, we just saw Frostburn getting picked up on Hardek. That is a very nice item on that pedal. You want to be kiting like we've talked about, but you cannot face check into these situations. T-Tigers putting down a lot of damage. Here comes the ultimate out of pedal, keeping her healthy for now. Lost Poitov actually gets the kill on the Tigers. That's another one going on to Donaclips. An ace comes through from Nemesis. They get their own back from earlier.
The petal is doing work. You were talking about it earlier, how fantastic that Frostburn really is on top of this pedal, and you saw it right there. The ability to kite around these fights is amazing, and you can hear how happy the crowd are to see this pedal in action here in the finals for the North American Autumn. It's been a fantastic season.
It really has, and there's still a few more games of it left. Nemesis and Liberation both fighting for the lion's share of the prize pool, for the massive bragging rights that come with getting this victory. At the moment, Nemesis Hydra sitting at about 2,000 gold in the lead. Can they keep this up?
Well, Lost Poitov has just picked himself up a minion candy, so they're looking to gain pretty solid control over the gold mine, considering that it's about halfway through its gold payout, which is exactly what they need to do. They need to maintain control over it. That vision is very important going up against this Liberation X lineup, because they're going to be looking for more fights. You can see them posturing around the top half of the map. That fortress is going to be looking to set up for these engages, trying to get onto Coeds as quickly as they can. Having a quick run through of the items, you can see Frostburn now picked up for T-Tigers. Status Bait haven't quite been able to complete that Sorrow Blade, while Coeds has. So, if Liberation X go for a fight, they would be at a slight disadvantage.
Yeah, they definitely would, so they need to be careful about when and where they pick them.
Bait.
More vision would be useful for both of these teams. Nemesis doing a decent job getting forward scout traps. Stansbank is actually a little bit slowed up by those Munions attacking him. That's going to be Hardek jumping in. Lost Boy over the wall with the gauntlet. They find the pick. And that is why Liberation X need to get some more vision. Right now, they're trying to trade maybe a turret for that Donaclips going in here, but this is a bad spot to be in. He doesn't have the wave here to help him out, and that's a kill onto Coeds. Tigers gonna try and escape from this one, most likely going to be able to, but man, Nemesis starting to really pull ahead.
Hardek really using this Frostburn power spike to his advantage. You know that when you have that Frostburn on top of this pedal, it is impossible to escape from her, especially those Munions constantly hitting you in the face. But it looks like Nemesis Hydra are not done yet.
Yeah, they want to go for Status Baked, actually, who is taking a ton of damage. He doesn't even try and escape. He's just trying to trade his life for jungle minions right now.
It's the best he could have gone in that situation. There was no way he was going to be able to escape from that. Status Baked is having a really rough time in the jungle, and this guy was known for his glaive throughout the tournament. A lot of the time we considered having to ban it away from him simply due to how talented he was on the hero, but Nemesis Hydra are making it look like child's play. They are pushing him around with this fantastic pedal pick. 5-1 and 3 right now, 51 CS. He is really making things work.
All right, so Nemesis grouping up now. They do have some good levels on their side. I mean, just look at Donaclips. He's still level 5, doesn't even have his ultimate yet, whereas we got 9, 8, and 7 across Nemesis. They're really doing a good job. Just as I say that, of course, Donaclips is going to level up. But Nemesis have complete control of the map right now. It's difficult for Liberation X to get the vision they need to stop these plays from coming through. They're going to try and push onto this turret up in the lane. Can they afford to do this? So you can see Lost Poitov coming in from the backside here, might be looking to pick up T-Tigers.
Picking up that turret is something that they need to do, but T-Tigers is definitely dead.
Coeds easily able to find that one. Trading your life for a turret isn't the worst thing in the world unless Nemesis push off the back of this. I feel like they can.
The best thing that Liberation X feel they can do at this point is play for the objectives. So considering that Nemesis Hydra was slightly out of position, T-Tigers felt that it was worth giving his life away to get that overall map objective, but they are going for another fight.
Oh, Coeds is actually afterburned right into the turret, but there's no damage here without Tigers. He is going to arrive now. The Gauntlet stuns him up, though, buys time for Nemesis to get more damage down. They kill the turret. They kill one. They might get two on a status baked. Hardak, he's trying to escape. T-Tigers gets him with a forward barrage. That is a 2-for-1 trade, but the turret goes down to Nemesis Hydra.
Status Baked has to be the MVP of that fight right there. Not only did he use the afterburn to get the initial kill onto Lost Boy, he then uses it to knock Pedal into the warm embrace of T-Tigers, where he was able to pick himself up another kill. So even though they end up losing their turret, they still end up trading 2-for-1. Very impressive team fight coming out from Liberation X.
Yeah, Nemesis Hydra right now, though, definitely starting to turn up the heat. They've extended their gold lead from about 2,000 to 3.5, not giving up any ground at the moment. Liberation X did a good job taking the turret earlier. I think if they didn't, they'd be in a much tougher spot. But where do they go from here?
Well, while things have cooled down a little bit, which is a little bit surprising with the amount of aggression that these two have displayed so far, we can see that T-Tigers has hit a pretty substantial power spike. He has now completed the Frostburn as well as the Broken Myth, meaning he will be doing a ton of damage coming into the next few exchanges. Hardek has decided to rush the Aegis, feels that getting that shield is far more important coming into these next few fights, considering how much damage T-Tigers is actually able to put out. Status Baked. Oh, hang on, another fight is about to kick off.
Look at the positioning of Liberation X. They're so far out. I don't know if they're
Hellfire
going to be able to
Brew.
escape. Hellfire Brew on a status baked, starting it off. See the forward barrage completely juked by all of Nemesis members. Liberation X can't run back to their base. They're actually retreating into Nemesis Hydra's home. Coeds trying to kite out here. That's going to be death from above, but it doesn't land onto the right targets. That is one trade. T-Tigers is still pretty healthy, tries to jump in. He finds one. This is a big turnaround for Liberation X. They might get the third. They might find an ace here onto Lost Boytov. Surrey Strike is not enough. The Gauntlet goes down. He might go for Dawn Eclipse. He's going to get one. He's going to get two. Lost Boytov!
Oh, Lost Boytov, he does it. He gets the 2 versus 1 turnaround under the turret.
He lived
This
too.
man is a god. That gauntlet was unbelievable. Managing to stun up T-Tigers just at the edge of the turret range. Unbelievable. This guy, oh man, what an impressive play coming out from Lost Boy right there.
Man, we got plenty of games left. He's trying to kill my voice in the first one. That was a ridiculous play. He lived at the end of that still.
And already our analysis are letting us know Lost Boy MVP regardless of win or lose. Fantastic play coming out of him. Wow, what a great way to kick off this best of 5 final.
I'm telling you, man, these are the 2 best teams in NA right now. They're fighting to see who's going to come out on top. Lost Boytov does take a lot of damage here. Status Big goes in, but he falls immediately. This could be a huge fight for Nemesis. They're trying to get onto Tigers. That's a lot of damage. Hardak trampolines forward, finds the kill. Dawn Eclipse goes down, and Lib X get aced yet again.
Nemesis go for the fight, recognizing that they had the positional advantage. Immediately they shut down Status Baked, simply due to how squishy he was. He has not had the opportunity to pick up the items that he needs to really turn that fight around. The beginning of that fight, he pretty much spent in the shop, and that gave them the opportunity to win that exchange very easily, even with the infusions that Liberation X had picked up. They used the minion candy as well as the dumb minion mines to easily shove down onto that turret, and they have finally cracked the base of Liberation X.
Right now, 20 kills to 9 at 13.5 minutes. Nemesis Hydra have just been aggressing since minute 1. Huge gold lead as well, about 5,000. Liberation X are going to have a very uphill battle from this point on. I'd argue their comp is a little bit more early game focused anyway, so it's going to be tough. We're seeing infusions picked up on several members right now. They know that the next few fights are going to be huge. The Hellfire Brew actually just going on a status big for a little bit of poke. Not the best target to Hellfire Brew because he's so tanky, but even still, I don't think Coeds needs that ability to do damage in these fights.
No, he certainly doesn't. And speaking of damage, he's now completed that Tyrant's Monocle, so he's going to be doing quite a lot of damage himself. He's also completed the Aegis, and having a look at Hardek right now, he's got the Broken Myth as well. So that is a pretty big power spike for this pedal. 8, 3, and 7 right now. They need to be considerate of playing around him coming into these next few fights. T-Tigers, though, he has the Frostburn, he has the Broken Myth, along with the Shatterglass. So he is sitting on a lot of crystal power right now, and if they do not respect his damage, then they will end up losing these fights. Even though the kill score is 20-9, I feel like these fights could constantly go back and forth.
They probably could, but Nemesis have just been playing them so perfectly. You know, Coeds, he's doing a great job of kiting around. Same thing on Hardek, and he's healing up a lot whenever he gets the ultimate off. The fights that we've seen Liberation X win are actually the ones where they kill the minions rather, first, because that completely denies Hardek ability to be a utility-centered hero in these fights.
She certainly does. And speaking of utility, look at Lost Boy Toph's build. Going for the Warhorn as well as the Shiver Steel, it is going to be impossible to escape any kind of engage coming out from Nemesis Hydra. It is all about them choosing the fights that they want to go for because they are in full control of this map. They're looking for a potential pick, all grouping up in that bush. This could be very bad for Status Baked.
Yeah, he is going to go down here, maybe just try and pick up some jungle creeps. I don't think they will have seen Dawn Eclipse, but they know to go in. There's the gauntlet going down. T-Tigers, look at how quickly he falls. Dawn Eclipse trying to get out of this one. He is pretty fast, but Hardek trampolines forward. He's going to get the slows from the Frostburn down, and Dawn Eclipse will fall. 2 quick kills for Nemesis Hydra, and they want to go for the Kraken as well.
So they sat in the bush and waited for Liberation X to come to them. Something that we haven't really seen very much of throughout this tournament, but it worked beautifully. The gauntlet came down, very easily locked up T-Tigers, and you saw how quickly he dropped. Fantastic play coming out from the side of Nemesis Hydra. They're going to pick themselves up the Kraken. They're going to pick up a couple of extra infusions. They're going to get their last few items, and they're going to look to push onto the base of Liberation X.
And Liberation X, this is do or die right now for the first game of the finals. They are up against the wall. I'm not sure they can really hold it together here. I mean, if you look across at the scores, you got 2 for 9 on Status Baked, 1 for 7 on Dawn Eclipse. T-Tigers is the only one who's a big threat right now, and yes, his damage is significant, but he can't get onto the right targets because of the kite coming out of Nemesis Hydra. With the Kraken now approaching the Vein Crystal, this is going to be a very hard defense for Liberation X.
Well, let's see if they can do it, because right now Liberation X are on the back foot. Fortress has pretty much been outscaled at this point, and look at the damage coming out from Coeds.
Oh my word, Hardek's Munion's actually just going through Dawn Eclipse. Hardek is going to jump in. Status Bake falling pretty low. Dawn Eclipse as well. They're keeping it together, but only for now. Fort Barrage in the wrong direction coming out of Tigers. He's putting hurt onto Lost Boytov. Coens gets the kill, though. Game 1 going to Nemesis Hydra.
Beautifully executed team fight from Nemesis Hydra. All they needed to do was wait for the Kraken to reach those turrets, and they knew that Liberation X would play straight into their hands. Very clean game coming out from